RTC Commissioner, would you like some time to speak with your lawyers before we start discussions?
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys the same spiel I give everybody else. Second you bullshit me, I'm out of here. All right, tell me what's going on. What you think's happened?
Well, I'm gonna tell you straight up what I know happened, and that's that Bo Hillinghead and other officers failed to clear on Bolingbrook Penitentiary. Bo Hillinghead, who was accused by the person who ended up dying in this situation, was accused of being corrupt and having killed 7 people, in which I testified to in a court of law when we went downstairs to transport Killian on that day. Bo Hillinghead and Foley were yelling at a cadet to make them put Killian in their car. Now, I shut that shit down when I saw it, because don't take a rocket scientist to be able to tell you that a man who just accused an officer of killing 7 people and being fucking corrupt, transporting that individual to prison, a man who a lot of people want to kill, doesn't make any fucking sense.
Recipe for disaster.
Fully in the deep end again, huh?
Yep. Ain't that the damn truth? So I intervened, made sure he got to the prison. We go inside. For some reason, they were going to put him in solitary. And I said, you can't just put him in solitary. You need to put him in general pop. Because
Can I pause you there?
Inhumane. Sure.
Why'd you make that call?
This is inhumane.
Inhumane.
It is. To put a man who's fresh in prison into isolation is crazy. No reason.
You see how the state can interpret that you suggested that he be put into a particular area. Something happened, so.
They were suggesting he be put into a particular area in
Okay.
isolation.
Yeah. And then you objected to that, correct?
Yeah, it's inhumane. It was denying him social.
I see the
social
point he's
aspect
making.
is
They were trying to
part
get
of
him in
being human.
isolation, and for
You know,
why?
So you
know?
advocated for him to be put in an area where he was killed.
Well, I advocated to put the man in an area that was fair that every other prisoner goes into.
All right.
Called general population for a reason.
But he's a I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm on your side, but I'm thinking like how they think.
Yeah, I'm thinking it too, but I have a flawless track record.
All right, continue.
I didn't clear inside. Bo Hillinghead, however, did. I went out and I was watching the watchtower, which makes sense. And I heard something crash on the outside. And at that point, I was a little sketched out to watch the door going in and out. They all exit. And I watch the door and I walk up to it. No one's in or out. LeAnn comes back. And me and her talking like, I think we should talk to him before we leave, just to make sure everything's good. We hear a punch or someone get punched, land or whatever. We walk in the doors and sure enough, there's people with guns telling us to get back. We call for backup and it's have you ever heard of a no-win hostage situation?
Oh yeah.
Well, even after we were able to get 6 officers into the room for a breach, or 7 was it, LeAnn? I can't remember.
I think it was 7 with us.
There
We
was
were
one
standing
man.
outside of the door.
Yeah, there was just one man we couldn't get an angle on. Under
It
the
was
stairs.
under the stairs. Yeah.
Yeah. And I call on the radio because you can't take a shot in that situation. Because it's when we shoot in a hostage situation, it has to be to preserve life. So if the end solution was Killian and all 4 people being shot, that's a lose, right? That's drastic loss of life in that situation. The only success metric we had there to preserve life was to talk them down. So while we're aiming, trying to get angles to try and neutralize the threat, we were talking him down, and we were succeeding. And then it turned bad. When we went through everything after, we determined that the prison couldn't have been cleared. And in fact, in one of Foley's statements, he said he had saw someone in the prison, didn't call it out, and didn't check, didn't clear, didn't search.
What?
Holy shit.
Yep. And Bo says he didn't search appropriately or far enough. LeAnn can correct me.
Oh my
I
god.
gave a 20-minute statement on the entire scene from start to finish. And Kane Anderson wrote 10 jot notes of my entire statement, while everyone else had all of their details written out.
Particularly my statement. They have incredibly detailed out.
See, that's something not sitting right with me.
And
Why?
we had Bo show how he cleared. This is relevant. We had Bo go back in and show how he cleared because I proposed it as an honesty test because if he changed how he cleared and there's someone else that can corroborate that, then we know what's happening, right? He showed us how he cleared. He ran around the cells really quickly, and then even in the middle of that, he didn't realize that one of the cell blocks was a cell block. He thought it was a wall, which means that he didn't fully clear.
You can't make this shit up. Holy fuck. Okay. So what I'm failing to understand, because I was there in your interrogation, why are you guys on the chopping block?
We don't understand why.
Well, that's
Because
what
I got
we're
on the
bringing
stand in the court, Johnson, and I said what Killian told me. He told me that Bo and Valentino had killed 7 people. And I said that in a court of law.
I recall that.
Yep. So now, the reality is that Kane, as usual, instead of trying to do what is right or wrong or what the evidence calls for, he's instead of right or wrongs, he's going for oohs and ahs, which is his whole MO. Kane wants to do whatever brings him forward towards making people give him praise and affirmations. Because as far as I'm concerned, Kane's a primo certified little sub, and he loves his affirmations. So that's what Kane's looking for out of this. He thinks that he can punish the deputy chief and commissioner, and he gets a little oohs and ahs for trying to stand up to authority or what he sees as holding everyone accountable, when in reality he has zero evidence whatsoever.
You heard my statement, Johnson. I was the
did.
only
You didn't
one that
incriminate
stood
yourself
up
at all.
to. I was the one nudging people to do it right. When I saw the failings, I stood up and did my job as command and ordered it done.
Correct. If you weren't there, the prison wouldn't have been searched to begin with. Period.
They would have just left him there, sentenced him in the vestibule, and he would have been dead within 10 minutes.
Let me ask you guys. I never asked this question. Is there a chance that these individuals entered after the prison was searched?
No, I think per their own statement, they were there.
Yeah, I was
way
gonna
before.
say
Yeah, they were-
they
Okay.
were there for hours.
Yeah.
Because
And
I
look at
even on the transport, I was like, this is too easy with how badly that they were telling me they wanted this man. And I had even said, search the prison, they might already be here.
Yeah, they were on Killian the entire time during trial.
And the suspects, those statements are directly proof that me and LeAnn didn't do anything. And I've heard on the streets from people like me, they've told me straight up that they have heard from those people that Bo knew that it was done on purpose.
I'm still failing to see how you guys are on the chopping block. It
I
blows my
mean,
mind.
we know
Well,
because
here's
we
the
were
other
there for
thing, Colt.
interrogation.
Obviously, I'm not
Right.
going to break attorney-client privilege with what was said during interrogations. I mean, it's to a record somewhere, but Mr. Hall over there was a part of those conversations. He heard the same things we heard. So kind of confuses
Kane
me.
took
as
this
to
away from
why-
him. Hale,
Huh.
I can say I'm not going to give much here, but Hale is not agreeing with Kane's choices right now.
So he's just a messenger.
Yes.
Yep.
Kane sent his puppy here to deliver a message.
I don't know
I
that.
think Hale's on his own volition here.
I think Hale doesn't agree with what his boss did.
Yeah. He knows it's wrong. He told me this much.
The reality is here, Johnson, I'm going to tell you what this is. Because I've seen this a lot of times. And the reason that this is getting folded on me, and then by extension by LeAnn, is because for a long time, the police have been able to get away with what they want because they've been unable to do it. The old boys club has been present in the PD for a hot minute now, and I've been battling against it for a long time. And it's hard because you have to keep up department morale, but you also have to look at the problems. And I've seen it a lot with this PD. There's little groups of people who they will defend each other no matter what, and it's wrong.
Oh, I know.
I had busted dead to rights on doing something corrupt at the funeral, and everyone rescinded their statements.
What?
The funeral of Teen Dawn. They rescinded their statements, changed them up. We went to try to go double down on it. They came to me with all information and then changed it all up.
I remember
Bo
that day I
Hillinghead?
shit my pants.
Yep. Bo Hillinghead was accused of something, and everyone started changing their statements. Baylor Jennings, look, if you saw the statement of Baylor Jennings, you'd wonder how that got omitted. Why is it put in there that Baylor thought it was weird that the commissioner of the police force was providing overwatch on a jail cell from a tower?
I was gonna ask you about that. Why the fuck were you up there on the tower anyway? I
Because
was literally
it
about
was
to ask
all
that.
over Twitter and the BBMC, and people were in courthouse threatening them constantly. I had it in mind that maybe someone was going to jump over the prison, over the prison walls.
That's your
And
story. You're sticking to it.
No, it's the truth.
All right.
I've been at this a long time. It won't be the first time. It won't be the last time that I've seen that.
I clocked something being off last night when I was reviewing statements because during a talk with Kane and Rosa, Kane pulls Ricky aside. And then when they brought Hillinghead in to show us how he cleared, Hillinghead was crashing out, like full on, like, I'm not going to give you ammunition to fucking crucify me and make me your little poster boy on what you're trying to do here. Kane pulls him aside. They have like a 25 minute conversation. Bo comes back placated and says, okay, yeah, sure, let's do this. And they all leave in a car together. And then Kane pulls aside Ricky away from me in the middle of this conversation regarding the IA, which Colt assigned both me and himself as oversight for this IA to be reported to directly. And they started discluding us. So I read the statements, and there is a statement in there where they are bolding anything to do with us. They are outlining and highlighting anything to do with the Cassidys. And that's why I called Colt last night, and I told him, I said, something's off.
Bo
Something changed.
is well insulated by a group of people who are propping him up. And Foley is not even mentioned as someone who's being punished here. And Foley is one of the most guilty parties in this entire debacle. He saw people, didn't report it. But that is the most corrupt ass shit I've ever seen. That led to a man dying. He's not even mentioned. But now, here's the thing you need to know. I put Foley's investigation to Hillinghead a while back, and Hillinghead didn't investigate it, and all of a sudden they're thick as thieves. Explain that one to me.
Foley was being investigated.
He was.
For what?
Foley's been fired twice. I don't know how the fuck he's rehired.
Probably kissing ass and licking boots.
Yep. That's my point, is these people, it is rotten to the core. And I've been saying it. I've been trying to get people to listen, and no one's listening. And this shit is rampant of them just covering for each other.
So wait, let me get this straight now. So the ops, which is part of the state's attorney's office, newly created, who's tasked with rooting out police corruption, is already off the get-go looking in the wrong places, is what I'm getting from this, and covering things up.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Something
don't
changed
see how
somewhere.
you guys are being held accountable.
Yeah, something changed somewhere where the tide turned against us.
I specifically appointed Ricky Rosa, Finch, and Kadumchuk because they had no attachment to anyone, and they weren't in that room. I appointed them to investigate, and they were fucked over and fucked out of it, washed out. And
Hale
this-
dismissed Rosa from an interrogation regarding this.
As suspicious as I am of you two, I don't think the state has enough to do anything to you. I don't know what he's got to say. I guess we got to bring Hale over here and see what he's got to say.
I mean, suspicious of what, Johnson?
Buddy, you were tasked with the protection of somebody who fucking tortured you. And then your sister, right? Your sister here has a deep relationship with you, who she's told me that the only person she'd ever lose her mind over is you. You guys are both in charge of this individual's safety, the same individual that harmed you. Now, granted, she says that, people harm us all the time, and we're tasked with the responsibility of protecting them regardless. But at the same time, I don't know that it rises to this severity, and it's strange that you guys were involved.
Johnson, I was not involved in clearing that cell.
No, but you were the highest ranking officer on scene.
It doesn't matter. I'm the highest ranking officer all the time, but I did not have scene control.
Again, I'm your attorney. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm thinking how they think. That's how I defeat my enemy.
But they're thinking wrong because it goes back to whoever scene lead is.
They're not married.
And I was not in there. I was not scene lead.
She's
Scene
married
lead was your
to someone
sister
else.
who loves you.
No, that
No,
was not
scene lead
LeAnn.
was Baylor,
I thought you
appointed
said
by
you had to
Sergeant
take
Carter.
control.
I had to give orders because they were not being done, which is something that we train everybody to do. Our NCOs as well. If somebody is failing at scene lead, then you give the orders.
So then the scene lead should be here in this position and not you guys.
Yes, and the scene lead is only receiving a 24-hour suspension.
For driving a bus wrong.
And there wasn't even a bus involved. Make that make
For
sense.
driving a bus wrong is crazy.
It makes no sense at all. I didn't do anything wrong, Johnson. I did not.
No, I know. I'm not saying you did. I'm just playing devil's advocate, of course. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't.
Well, I'm just saying, in general, I did nothing wrong. And this is a betrayal and corruption beyond what I even thought was possible among the PD. My faith is completely shaken. I'm shocked, to be honest with you. And you can ask LeAnn that I didn't even want to go through this. I wanted to just step down, and the only reason I'm here even fighting it is for her.
Mm-hmm.
I am disgusted with my fellow officers on a level in which I don't know if this is even fixable.
Everything's fixable with a good attorney.
Well, I don't mean the
I think
charges.
he's
I mean,
talking about the PD.
I'm talking
Oh,
about the
no,
police
no.
department.
I can assist you with legally firing every single one of their asses.
He has to do with Ellie stuff.
Every one of them.
I don't even know if that's gonna be enough. They like demoted everyone, and it's still a fucking shit show.
I mean, here's the thing that Kane's the overseer of that whole thing, right?
Oh my
He's the
god!
one
Don't
that
get me started. With
launches investigations and is supposed to prosecute cops and can lose their jobs. But if he's in on this too, then
Who investigates the state attorney if they act out of line?
We do. That's why it's so perfect.
yeah.
Oh, so if
Well,
I
that's
have a
so perfect.
complaint about
Subpoenas.
his actions, I can go to you guys.
Yep.
Perfect.
That's good. So wait, what
Well,
are the charges?
go to them
that
for
you-
now. We got to figure out what this guy's trying to do over here.
Yeah, wait,
Yeah.
so what are the charges that you guys are facing right now?
They say they're not pursuing any criminal charges, but they. What was our punishment that they're trying to do? But get us to cadet.
I know.
I'm sorry,
I know Kane
what?
Anderson, and he
That's
gets.
wild.
And I know Kane Anderson, and he does this. He gets his oohs and his ahs, but also he starts to craft a narrative, and that narrative is to go towards criminal charges. His hope is he does this, puts out a press release, makes it look like he's the champion who punished the commissioner and the deputy chief, and then he hopes someone gives him anything, even a witness statement, even if it's true or not, to try and institute criminal proceedings to show we
That
did
is
wrong with involuntary
Ridiculous that the
Yeah,
persons
look at this
that actually
article, a ride with Los Santos's legal revolution by
failed
the Petty Times. In here, the
their
Petty Times
duties?
basically dares him and says, "I'll believe that you're going to do well in your position when you indict someone in the PD."
Hmm.
What's that from?
It's from
Oh, the
the
news
article from
article?
Petty Times. It's a ride with LS's legal revolution. It says specifically the line that I'm worried about. Where is it? This isn't the first time someone's tried to sell me hope wrapped in legalese. Oversight committees come and go. Commissions are born and get ignored and die quietly in a forgotten annex of City Hall. You want to impress me? Show me blood on the floor from someone who used to be untouchable. Show me a cop indicted for once.
You think he's read that and is now taking that literally
an
and
ego,
making
of
a point?
course.
Yeah, okay.
I will tell you the reality here. Me and LeAnn, we are the only cops that give a shit about community policing. We're the only two cops that give a shit about holding cops responsible for making sure that they're held accountable for their shit, for what they do to criminals or to civilians. And the reality is, they're trying to take out the last holdouts in this police department that want to see a modern police department with a good relationship with the civilians. These other
Which is-
people,
Were you at the protest today, any of you?
Yeah,
No.
for a little bit I was, yeah.
Did you see the start of it? Did you see how everyone in the PD, until I came out, just went immediately for
Yeah.
a beanbag shotgun?
I did.
And then they
yes.
were pointing guns and all that
Yes.
stuff, and I had to intervene, didn't I?
Yeah, I did see that.
What you didn't hear was me yelling at them like, "Why aren't you going to talk to them? They are grieving. Just talk to them." They said, "Well, we tried." But no, I heard Carter only say, what, a sentence and then walk away?
Yeah.
I was the only one out of that entire force after shift changers, went well over 20 cops that went out there to genuinely listen to the grievances.
And sadly is not the first time that this has happened as well. I know another protest where immediately it was beanbags and no communication.
they're going to power trip. They view the citizens as cattle. And that's how the other police look at things. And I guarantee you that me and LeAnn getting taken out is going to lead to the biggest pile of corruption that ever would be uncovered in the entirety of the history of Los Santos. They will, I'm telling you, they are going to abuse the shit out of the citizens of Los Santos.
They won't have nobody to answer to.
have been fighting ever since I've been appointed this commission. And I just... It feels like I'm alone. I constantly feel gaslit when I'm seeing people act the way they are.
The shit that's going to happen from this is criminals, civilians shot without warning. You're going to see people charged without meeting burdens of proof. You're
Yeah.
going to see officers covering for other officers. This shit, if they're able to do this today or tomorrow, whenever this happens, this is about to adversely affect the everyday civilian in Los Santos. I guarantee you.
The sad
It will
reality is that this was happening with no DOJ and no state attorney's office, and even with that and the state attorney's office, it's still happening. Like, it was bad
I have a
before too.
question. So the state attorney has the authority to recommend a demotion or some shit, right? Who do they recommend it to?
Knox.
Fuck.
He's already
Okay.
pushed it to the deputy commissioner.
Shit. Okay. Sorry. Gotta pacing. All right. Well, we
I'm
should
gonna
get him over
float.
here. Here we got to say.
I'm going to float something that I told LeAnn I thought about doing last night when I saw the writing on the wall for what I thought was happening in terms of Head manipulating Kane and Carter doing whatever he's doing. I told LeAnn last night that I should go in and I should just root out the corruption. And I should just go take care of it. So at least I've done that. And what I would like legal advice on is if I fire, demote, or make structure changes to the police department, I should be within my right, no?
I mean, are we in an at-will state?
I believe so.
Well, then you can fire them because you think they're ugly.
So this will not... you don't believe in your legal opinion that if I decided to scorched earth these motherfuckers, you don't think that will negatively affect me?
No, there'll be some repercussions, don't get me wrong, but if we're in an at-will state, you know what I mean, but your job is not guaranteed.
I mean, I think Kane 100% would use that against you.
Oh,
But
yeah.
how well does that really stand up in court
I-
of law?
Also think that no, whether you do or don't, it seems to be that they're painting targets on your back regardless. They're
matter
trying
All I
to...
hear about is protecting the people of this city. And if that means that puts a little bit more heat on me, but it doesn't make me guilty of nothing from Kane, and that just fuels him to come after me, that's irrelevant to me. The only thing I care about is if I can protect people from these corrupt fucking motherfuckers coming out and destroying the people and the fabric of the city just for their own fucking pocketbooks or whatever their motivation is, for their power trips or whatever. Well, I'd do it. I wouldn't think twice.
I think as much as it's an at-will state, if you've got, you know, your valid proof behind the reasoning for why they're fired, they can come after you, but at least you've got the backing with proof. Like, you're not firing it out of a
Correct.
grudge.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the burden is, as long as it's not out of discrimination, retaliation, or like some sort of breach.
They're going to paint it as retaliation.
And that's why
gonna be
you...
their
Well,
angle.
that's when you come with your
That's
hard
why-
evidence as
exactly.
to their wrongdoings.
Yeah.
So we need to mind our P's and Q's with this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely.
Be very, very
100%.
precise with it.
Yeah.
We
Alright,
should
you guys ready
probably
to
talk
bring
to
in
Hale
Hale?
real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, we should probably bring him
another
Hell.
question.
Oh. Oh, hang on, Hal.
One more quick thing.
LeAnn, go take a walk for a second.
What?
Go take a walk. I don't want you party this conversation.
Okay.
Oh,
I have a serious question.
all right.
In jurisdictional matters, in general, there are times that county trumps state and federal, right? There are times.
That's
Yeah.
correct. Like, well, states have their own sovereignty where they can operate within their own law.
Okay.
For example, medical marijuana, right?
So while I'm employed by the state, I do have an innate ability to deputize. So if I deputize someone to a county level law enforcement official, the state's attorney may have trouble.
Oh
enforcing upon
shit!
them, correct?
This is how it happens.
That's a complex legal question. What are you deputizing them to?
Sheriff?
Let me.
I mean, look, the way that Kane explained it to me was that they had the prosecutorial power to prosecute any law enforcement agency, though I don't know if that's true or not necessarily.
Deputize sheriff. Sheriff still answers to the county.
Because we could save LeAnn, because the punishment says that she should be deputized, or sorry, put down to cadet.
Yeah.
From it's an LSPD punishment, but she's not LSPD anymore, and she's a sheriff. Then this takes her out of Kane's gaze, and she just put the work in, and she deserves it.
Usually, isn't a sheriff an elected position?
Well, I don't think there's anything.
Chiefs are appointed by the mayor.
I mean, sheriffs were appointed all throughout history as well.
Yeah.
Marshals are
Sure.
appointed.
Precedent
depends.
could be set here if we haven't had the sheriff department set up, even if it's like acting sheriff until a vote is made. At least the department is set up then.
Yeah, which is normal. I mean, there usually is an interim sheriff.
Then we can just focus on me,
Yeah.
and then we save LeAnn from this, whatever the fuck this is they're trying to do, whatever political game this is.
I like the angle you're taking here.
It's not insane. She is
It
the
could
deputy
work.
chief.
Good work. I don't know what Kane would do. Yeah, he'd have his panties in a bunch.
He would
Well, I mean-
go triple hard on me.
Oh,
to be
yeah.
honest, because it'll hit his ego that we did something like this. Could they potentially try to then spur and say that this was government corruption?
It doesn't look good that you're appointing your sister as the sheriff. Had you guys been unrelated, it would look better. But, you know, you can see how it plays out.
I mean, in order for them to prove that, usage intended to break law, not breaking any laws, gain personal benefit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for them to twist. Protect others unlawfully. I mean, it's not unlawful for you to deputize people or cover up misconduct. You're not covering up any misconduct.
That's true. We're not actually covering anything up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you can get away with it.
Yeah,
They
but it
might-
doesn't make it right.
They might go you for that second part, but again, it's on
The
them
thing that
to
bothers
prove
me
it.
is gain personal benefit. Usage intended to gain personal benefit.
That's the one, yeah.
But the way I read it, though, is gain personal benefit for yourself.
If anything, it's just gonna fuck you over a little bit more if you do go this, so it's not giving you personal benefit.
Look, and I'm sure we can craft up a story about,
We can definitely
hey, it's
craft
time
up
to
a defense if
expand,
you're prosecuted
need a
for it.
sheriff's office.
Hey, it'd be nice to have one department, up and running and with no corruption while the other one gets weeded out.
Look, there's been a major expansion up north, and we need a sheriff's office to help out with that.
I mean, I don't have to say the reason I did it, and neither do any
Right.
weight.
Right?
Correct. If you're going to do it, you got to do it before hell comes over here and tells us all the fucking shit you guys are facing. Do it right in front of his face.
Well, I mean, shit. Look, even if they were to say you're a cadet right this second, okay, well then you just deputize her right then and there too.
No, he got to deputize her before he's told what he's a cadet. Did Knox already approve this shit? We need hell.
Knox didn't approve anything yet.
Oh, beautiful. Then you got time.
I don't think Hale's gonna do that, right? Because Hale's here because he disagrees with Kane.
Well, we got to talk to him.
I think, I don't know. Doing the right thing's important to me. And I think for this one, it's tough for me because it feels shitty to have to do this. Is it bad to let LeAnn be punished and to face persecution and to be unjustly targeted for something she didn't do? Or is it bad to promote her to this position with at least some of it being to prevent that?
Listen, Commissioner, either way, you're in some shit, right? You just got to decide which pile of shit you want to lay in. And our team here will defend you either way till we can't defend you no more.
But one pile of shit I'm completely innocent of, and by choosing this for LeAnn, at least puts a toe in the shit. At least to be debated, that one toe went into the shit. And I haven't done anything wrong until now, at all. And this would be the only thing that the argument could be made as some nepotism. And I accept that. And that's the thing. I haven't done anything wrong. And that's the shittiest thing about this, is I literally am innocent. And I have sacrificed so much for this shit to happen.
I think
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I think I know which one you're leaning more towards, given the fact that we're even entertaining this conversation. As her brother, I just want you to think, look at how they're treating her now in the position she's in. Just imagine how she'd be treated if she was a cadet again.
Correct.
Yeah, 100%.
This shit sucks. I wish. I don't know. I wish people got into law enforcement to fucking make a difference.
I think they do initially, but I
No, they
think
do for the lights and sirens.
I think there's cliques that are in the PD, and if you fit in with that clique, you get molded into that same clique. Everyone's intentions fade in amongst the idea of having a group of people that have your back no matter what.
Yeah, I've seen officers with the best of intentions, and they go on one ride along, and they're a completely different officer after that,
Yeah.
just because of the person they go on the ride along with.
What would you do, Ellie? If it was you, honestly, what would you do?
There isn't much I care about in this world, Colt, but family is one thing I will go above and beyond to protect.
I assume since you all turned towards me, that means I can come back into the circle. What? Oh?
Deputy Chief Cassidy, I would like to let you know that I am of this moment using my powers invested to me by the state of San Andreas to form officially the Blaine County Sheriff's Office, and I am then also in that moment using the power invoked to me by the state and the governor to deputize you as the sheriff of Blaine County Sheriff's Office. You're hereby no longer reporting in the line of the Los Santos Police Department, and you are currently the full authority for the county of Blaine County. I would recommend, Miss Cassidy, at your earliest convenience, for you to go north to Blaine County, where you have full authority and control. I expect you to serve with dignity and respect and uphold everything that I have taught to you. I expect you, LeAnn, to be good and to enact community policing at every aspect. And I expect you, LeAnn Cassidy, to root out corruption at every corner and turn. Go now.
I don't know what you're planning, Colt. You're trying to save me. This is you trying to save me right now, isn't it?
Sheriff Cassidy, please report to your post before I have to reprimand you for wearing an unauthorized badge and uniform. You are no longer an officer of the Los Santos Police Department. I would ask you to please respect your station.
Yes, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner. I'll report to Sandy Sheriff's Office immediately.
See you later, Sheriff.
Goodbye, Sheriff.
Goodbye, Sheriff.